Back to the read. In other words, when we choose not to live according to the new concept, we guarantee ourselves a negative life, a life filled with death and incarceration. One is confronted with crossroads before being faced with prisons, jail, or death. Oh, okay. Now, let's get this. We faced with this crossroad before we even face prison, death, or jail, And that crossroad is, should I do it or shouldn't I do it?
That's true.
Should I go this way or should I go this? Should I go to the right or should I go to the left? Should I stay in the house or should I go out? My girl is telling me to stay in, but my partners is telling me to come out. And my partners out here got this switch out here with me on this gun that we finna go shoot 100,000 times in 10 seconds.
Yep.
Now my girl, she on welfare or she getting some type of welfare, something, you know what I'm saying? Some type of government assistance, or she might have a job, and we barely making ends meet to take care of our family. But I'm finna go out here and make this crucial decision. And when I make this crucial decision, I wind up in jail. Guess who I'm gonna be calling for assistance?
Same girl you left.
The very person I know that's struggling already. So now I'm finna get ready to take out our children miles to feed me in jail.
You know, this brought back something with my own situation. Because the night I caught my case, my homeboy KK was telling me, G, just stay in the house. Don't go nowhere. Just chill out. Don't go nowhere. Just stay in the house, bud. Just roll up a blunt, pull up a shot, let's drink. Let's smoke. Just chill. Now like, man, fuck that. I gotta go. I was eager to leave. And I walked into a 20-year sentence. I've learned from that experience, when you block out that inner voice within you to where you can't even recognize a right decision to make, that voice is going to come from whoever is closest to you.
Yeah.
If you know how to hear it. Looking back, I realized that my homeboy was trying to save my life.
And he was
In
an
the
angel.
moment, I thought he was trying to stop me from just doing what I wanted to do.
He was an angel.
Exactly. Exactly. That moment just brought it back to me. I had to, KK, I thank you for being that voice in my life at that time, and I apologize for not listening, my G. Plenty much love.
Says, at some point in our life, we are confronted with the decision of picking up that gun, dealing those drugs, robbing that person or store, or breaking in that home or business. At that very moment that we are confronted with the decision to do something wrong, we are also given an opportunity to decide what is right. At such situations, any such situations represent a crossroad. And that is what the cross forks represent. The many crossroads in one's life. Hold on, bro.
Yep. Boy, this chapter bringing back some thoughts.
Yeah, because it's going to make you, this chapter is making us look at the decisions that we are making.
Yeah, boy.
It's making us look at them. It's making us looking at everything that we've done, every decision that we've made in our life.
Damn.
And being able to accept the responsibility. Now, here's the thing now. A lot of us are we are all faced with these crossroads, right?
Right.
And when we are faced with these crossroads.
God, I'm facing one right now. Keeping this phone up.
Keeping the phone up. Many of us make a decision that gets us in a bad situation, right? And then you know what we do? We face with a crossroad then. You know what that crossroad is?
What's that?
Keep our mouth shut and go accept our responsibilities or bring somebody else down with us. And guess what a lot of people do?
Bring somebody down with them.
Bring somebody else down with them. Here's another crossroad people's be faced with. Look at all these beefs that's going on out here in the industry, man, where bodies are dropping everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's all caused behind a lot of time. Somebody else is want to be with somebody else mate. You got some female want to be with a male and a male want to be with a female. And then that leads to a whole bunch of nonsense. People's dying everywhere because we ain't made decisions. We faced a crossroad, the cross forks in our life, and we made a decision to do something negative, which can cause a whole lot of other innocent peoples or other peoples to die or wind up in jail.
Yep.
It's deep. It's deep, bro. It's deep.
You know, I ain't gonna front. I ain't gonna front. This chapter, at just at this stage of the reading, is making me consider the responsibility of representing the cross forks. And when I say that, I mean like throwing them up. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be for fun or in a photo, whatever the case may be. And I'm looking at the actual responsibility of carrying these folks. And it's not just a sign, it's not just a symbol to represent the organization. When you carrying these folks, you're saying you're taking on the responsibility of making the right decision at every point in your life. And to make a negative decision would be to dishonor the folks you represent.
Yeah. Yeah. Watch this.
Mm-hmm.
When we find ourselves in trouble, we reflect upon the circumstances that's got us into trouble in the first place. We reflect upon our past, which is usually filled with the same negative behaviors that got us into trouble in the first place. When trouble brings us to a crossroad, we are always confronted with the decisions to change our behavior or not. So what are the steps we need to take in order to change our behaviors? That's a question. That is a question, bruh.
Yep.
What are the steps? What are the steps we need to take in order to change our behavior? That's a question.
Yes, it is.
So what are those steps?
I know for me, the first step I took was one, becoming aware of my actual options. Like, what are my real decisions? What choices do I have to choose from? Then, once I became aware of my actual options, I had to go to, okay, what's the best option? Then, upon figuring out what the best option was, I had to prepare myself to be able to uphold that responsibility.
I'm gonna tell you something else too, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we got to make decisions for not only ourselves, but the peoples around us, even though they may not even understand the decisions that we're making.
That's true. That's true.
Seriously, bro. We have to do that because a
As
lot of
parents, as
time,
adults, we do it for our children.
yes, and as adults, we got to do it for our friends,
That's true. Our spouse.
even when they don't even know the decisions that we're making for them. We have to make them, or when we don't understand the decisions that they are making for us.
Yep.
Mm.
That's that's the true test of a person's bond with somebody else. Do you trust them enough to make a decision on your behalf, even when you don't understand the full detail of decision making? That shows how strong a bond is.
A lot of times they don't because they're
No.
only looking at uh,
Immediate gratification,
immediate gratification.
what they feel in the moment.
Yeah,
We lost a lot of us have lost a lot of friendships and a lot of good bonds because of how we felt in the moment.
yeah, yeah.
Not considering the sacrifice they made in that moment for us to even remain in good standings with ourselves and with each other.
Mm.
So we are selfish ass people. And I mean people as in humans, period. Because we really don't consider the crossroads that a person is facing when they're trying to help us. And not understanding that we'll sacrifice our very help because we feel a way about how they helping us.
True.
And then put ourselves in a worse condition than we were already in, and then blame the person that's trying to help us.
Yep. Yeah, but the person that's doing the help, you got to continue to help because you understand what they don't.
That's facts.
You know, so
that's when you become the example.
Yep.
That's where love comes in at.
Yep.
Being your brothers and sister keeper.
Getting them out of
even when they
harm's
don't
way.
see it themselves.
Getting them out of harm's way.
Yep. Boy, I
At the
can't wait till we get to the principles of these things. I'm sorry, G. I just shot ahead for a minute.
Yeah.
When we get to the principles of this growth and development, that's going to be a wonderful segment.
At the moment that we find ourselves in trouble, most of us cannot see a realistic avenue for changing our behavior. Usually we just roll with the punches and take come what may. Let me see something. We'll roll with the punches
and take what may come with it.
And take what may come with it. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And sure, there are schools, there are sports, there are trades, there's labor, and there's business. But how does one get into the proper frame of mind to pursue dreams of legitimate success within our communities? Real heroes and role models are being big time hustlers, pimps, gangbangers, drug dealers, whores, and players.
Okay, TP for 1 second. Because I got to go back to something, right? The part where it says, roll with the punches and take what may come with it. You know how many times I have seen and had that mentality to where it's like, okay, I cross that bridge when I get to it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
it is
It
what
is
it
what
is.
it is. I handle it when I get there. And not realizing that mentality in itself stops you from preparing to be able to deal with it when you get there.
Exactly.
Because you're not thinking about it. It's not even on your mind until it happens. You're not even aware of what could transpire. That's a self-defeating mentality.
Just gonna accept it, whatever it is.
And I
go on this robbery and I got to kill everybody in there, okay, I deal with that when I get to it.
Exactly. And looking at this, right, that mentality, I see how it can lead to drug dealers, pimps, players, hustlers being role models for the youth. Because on the outside looking in, it doesn't look like they have any problems. It doesn't look like they have any obstacles. It doesn't look like they have any crossroads to bear. Because to us, they living good. They straight.
Because that's what is placed before us, bro. The immediate gratification is what placed before us, the illusion. You see the pimps, the players, the hustlers, the drug dealers, the killers, the robbers, everybody riding around in nice cars, big jewelry. You know what I'm saying? They doing good. And they might roll up and give us $10, $15, $20. That's a shorty. And have us doing runs for them. They become our role models.
Yep.
But if we see Mr. Johnson down the street working hard, getting up every day, Mr. Johnson he's really the pillar in the community. We ain't paying attention to Mr. Johnson. Because Mr. Johnson don't have $10, $15 to give up. Mr. Johnson is working hard, and we ain't trying to work hard like that.
Yep. Even at that young age, it's a crossroad in itself.
Yeah.
Because then we're making a decision. Go ahead.
We being faced with life decisions at a young age. These are crossroads at young ages, man.
Mm-hmm. Now,
How
on the
we
flip
viewing
side of
Mr.
that
Johnson? Yeah.
is, as an adult now, I have to look at my lifestyle and what I do and see what crossroads is giving the youth behind me to face. Because how they see me living my life, they're going to make a judgment about their own life based on how I live mine.
Yep.
So, what options do I want to give the next generation? So, I
If
got
you
to be
live in,
mindful of the decisions that I make in itself at my crossroads.
but whatever, if you living under that negative lifestyle, you gonna say, man, whatever, it don't matter to me. This is what I'm gonna teach a person how to live out here in these streets. I'm gonna teach you how to live out here in these streets, and I'm gonna teach you how to die young in the streets.
Facts.
Okay? It says, when one has grown up in a community where in his eyes,
Mm-hmm.
the most successful person that he comes into contact with is a street hustler or a gang banger, a gang banging drug dealer. What can be done to encourage him to strive for legitimate avenues of success instead? These are some of the questions that our new concept, growth and development, would answer. However, society views us as sociopaths and seeks the easy way out. Yes, society has evolved to only one way of dealing with the problems of crime and recidivism. All right, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What is a sociopath?
If we relate today to in today's time, if anybody watches Power, it would be the dude running. He's a sociopath. But a sociopath is an antisocial disorder. It is a mental health condition in which a person consistently shows no regard for right or wrong and ignores the rights and feelings of others.
So, so they lack empathy.
Complete empathy, none whatsoever.
So that's how society is viewing us as sociopaths. Society. Let's define society.
Okay.
Who are we talking about in society, though? Because aren't we all part of society?
We are all part of it.
So if society is viewing us as sociopath, what part of society, who are viewing us as sociopath?
Well, according to the dictionary, Oxford Dictionary, society is an aggregate of people living together in a more or less ordered community. It
Okay.
also is an organization or club formed for a particular purpose or activity.
So
Now,
what community is viewing us as sociopath? That's what I'm asking.
yep, and I'm about to get into that because now I'm looking at city council, I'm looking at the government itself, I'm looking at mainstream society as they call it, the
What's
common
main
folks,
what's mainstream
civilians,
society?
people who are on the legitimate side of life.
So let me ask you this here question.
Hmm.
My cousins, a lot of them, a whole lot of them, they are on the civilian side of life, but they come up in the same community as I come up, right?
Right.
They come up in, we all slept in the same bed, slept side by side with each other. Some of us and peed on each other and everything, right?
Hmm.
Is that the society they talk about that view us as sociopath?
Yeah. If they're legal, now let me say it this way.
You know why I'm finna disagree with you on this?
Feel free, go ahead.
Because the same society that you're talking about view them as sociopaths as well.
It is a twofold mirror.
See,
And now we got to look at who the laws are designed to protect and who they're
yeah,
designed to serve.
okay.
Now,
So
when we get into that, the laws are designed to protect and serve those who are deemed to be civilians living a legitimate life. Now, the issue comes in is because even though you may be a civilian living a legitimate life, if you're in a certain community, you're automatically lumped in with the whole.
okay, so let's do this here.
Hmm.
I I took you through K Town.
Yes, you did.
I took you through there. It was real. It was nighttime, but it was real gloomy, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
So is everything in that community considered as sociopaths?
By majority rule, yes.
So now, mind you, now remember, I just asked you a question. That's where my family from, that community.
Mm-hmm.
So they deemed as sociopaths too, right?
Yep.
Society deemed them as sociopaths, right? Now we back to my same question all over again.
Mm-hmm.
What society? European society?
Partially, yes.
Upper income society?
Yep.
Those are in the upper bracket of income.
Yep.
So they look down upon us and see us as these sociopaths.
Yep.
Okay, that's why I was getting at. So
Mm-hmm.
it says yes, society has evolved to only one way of dealing with the problems of crime and recidivism. That is to say, three strikes, you're out, lock them up, and swallow the key, build more prisons. Where you hear that at? Now
Whew.
watch this here. Now, I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad, I'm glad we here, bro. I'm
Talk to
glad we
me.
here because this is 2024. From the local, state, and federal, what you are about to start hearing is lock them up, throw away the key. Lock them up, lock them up, lock them up. Crime, 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 crime. They finna build all their election platforms is finna be built on lock them up, throw away the key.
I'm glad you mentioned that, right? Because the COVID relief fund that they did when COVID happened,
Yeah.
they still had money left over from that COVID relief fund because it didn't all get used up. They have been discussing building prisons with their money.
Now, they've been discussing building prisons on the federal level, state levels.
I know state levels for sure.
Okay. But these are the same people who've been passing laws now for reform and reentry and all this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you finna take the money and do the complete opposite on what you in past laws for when you can take this money and put it into these laws and programs that you had already passed to help people's being relieved from prison, right? So now
Absolutely.
y'all finna take this very money and rebuild prisons. I ain't gonna say rebuild prisons, or build more prisons.
Yep. Establish new ones. Then they're going to be private owned prisons.
Oh, so now you're talking about the GEO group, all these people. I got you. I got you. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. Etc. 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 But as men, what are our answers to our problems? What do we have to offer as an alternative solution to society's cry for imprisonments and death?
Mm.
Are
So
we
that would mean we would have to show them that what's needed is not more prisons.
right? What
We
is
have to present
needed?
to them a plan of action to where the youth can be guided in a whole different way.
What is needed is the blueprint of a new concept. That's what's needed. That is what's needed, bruh.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm with you. Because now we'll go back on the old podcast and bring that back up later on. But it talks about that in the blueprint about what's needed is the educational program that prevents them from going down that path that's backed by economical, political, and social development.
Right,
So that's in here. The
right.
answers lie in this book.
So let me say this here
Mm-hmm.
to all educators. Listen up, listen up, listen up, listen up, listen up. This is a PSA. All educators, we will be totally immersed, involved in the social development within our community, the education, the economic, the political, and the social growth and development within our communities. We will be involved. So get ready, because we are going to make a difference within our communities.
Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground, and we start at the local level. Start with local. Don't worry about at this moment what's going on the federal level. Worry about what's going on in your community. Worry about the programs that's going on in your community. Worry about the people that's running for these offices in your community. Worry about the people that's educating your children in your community. Worry about the people that's controlling the economics in your community. Worry about the people that's controlling the politics in your immediate community. Worry about the social development or lack thereof that's going on inside your own community.
And if you
That's
don't see
where
a
we're
social
focusing
development
at.
program, let's work to establish one.
That's right. It said, are we saying that we are not intelligent enough to discover, create workable solutions when knowledge is our fourth principle? Hold on, man. Hold on. Let me read that again.
One more time.
Let me read that again. Are we saying that we are not intelligent enough to discover / create workable solutions when knowledge is our fourth principle? That is a question.
Now, this is what I will present, right? Knowledge is the ability to grow and develop through study, observation, and application.
Right.
That's what knowledge is. So if we have knowledge, if we have the ability to grow and develop through study, observation, and application, that means we are the ones that have to create or discover a way to have workable solutions.
Exactly.
Okay. I just want to make sure I was comprehending that part correctly.
Yes, because watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Are we saying that we do not have the wisdom to see that drive-bys and drug dealings are only keys to open the door of genocide on blacks in particular and poor peoples in general?
Wisdom is the ability to apply knowledge wisely.
That's right.
So
Are
not
we
only do we have to study, observe, we have to most importantly give the application thereof to prove our growth and development. Because if you can't apply it, you haven't grown and developed yet. I'm liking where this is going. I'm self-checking right now. I'm self-checking.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Are we saying that we do not understand how to change our attitude, behavior, and lifestyle when understanding is our sixth principle? So they've given us knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
Yep. And the irony of that is in chapter 2 of the blueprint, the section Truth, Our Foundation,
right?
It tells us that not understanding is the ability to settle disputes and maintain order through a fair and just interpretation of laws and principles.
Mm-hmm.
So a workable solution is the understanding.
What are the universal laws of existence?
Love, life, loyalty, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
What are our principles?
Love, life, loyalty, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
It's so
Standing
simple.
strongly upon our 6
It's so
points, utilize
simple.
the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding
As we strive in our struggle for education, economic, political, and social development.
But
it's so simple. It's so simple, man. A child can get it, but it'll baffle it. But it'll baffle a genius. That's what's crazy.
I love how it all comes together. All is one.